I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
And a child shall lead them.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
are you still wearing your necklace? Uh-oh, it broke. Did it
No, I
break?
took it off before I went to bed, so it won't break.
Good.
Yes, sir, Robert.
Okay, you guys, we're going to do a song here. This song is Bruce and Trbuzy. How do you say it?
Trbuzy, I guess?
Tears of the Dragon. It's a live version. This is
Yes,
for,
sir.
this is for Hernan. I'm just not sure if, hopefully, right here.
Okay, shout out to Hernan.
Okay, so Hernan says, in 1993, Bruce Dickinson left Iron Maiden to pursue a solo career.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Among the first songs he wrote was a song about change, what most of us feel when facing the huge dilemma. In this live version of that song, he's accompanied by a young Brazilian power metal band, Trbuzy, and his Latino brother, longtime songwriting partner, producer, and virtuoso guitarist, Roy Z. You've heard Roy's guitar work in your reactions to Book of Thel and Jerusalem. Cool fact about Roy, he produced Judas Priest's album Angel of Retribution, plus he's been a touring guitarist in Rob Halford's solo band.
Wow, okay.
How cool is that you get to spend a lot of time around those two metal gods? Thanks, and be well.
All right. Well, you be well too, brother.
Yep.
We're about to be well because we're about to hit some metal, and I love Bruce Dickinson and Iron Maiden and all that. I know it's not Iron Maiden, but I get the feeling I might get some Iron Maiden vibes from them, inshallah.
I believe so.
Tears of the Dragon, let's go. Spooky.
In the darkness, I was stumbling for the door to find the reason, to find the time, the place we are. Waiting for the winter sun and the cold light of day. water is building, and I can't stay away. I throw myself into the sea, release the wave, let it wash over me. To face the fear I once believed, the tales of the dragon for you and for me. Where I was, I had wings that couldn't fly. Where I was, I had tears I couldn't cry. My emotions frozen in an icy lake. I couldn't feel them until the ice began to break. I have no power over this. You know I'm afraid. The walls I built are crumbling away.
Damn.
Water is moving. I'm slipping away. I throw myself into
chilly.
the sea. Release the wave, let it wash over me. Don't face the fear I once believed. The tears of the dragon for you and for me. Let me see those hands out there.
This guy's about to black out. Go ahead, Brother Minister! Go, Brother Minister! Woo-hoo! Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was a showman. Holy shit. Let's go.
Mr. Royce on the guitar! Sao Paulo!
Gang, gang, gang.
Oh, interesting. Sounds like a piano.
Slowly I wake, slowly I rise. The walls are built are crumbling away. The water is moving and slipping away. I throw
Okay.
Okay. I see why you sent this one over. This
Wow.
is a really, really, really good one.
That
Oh man, I don't know if I'm in the mood for like a lot of music or if they're just gonna be good pick after good pick.
remember we went to the Slipknot show and there was a guy that was playing with a cowboy hat? I'm like, that boy was trash, blah, blah, blah. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
This guy had a cowboy hat,
Yep.
but it completely worked
Yeah.
because he was a showman.
Yeah.
He understood, I'm just going to hammer and just say what's up to everybody. Like, he understood, man, like we're at a show.
Yeah.
On top of that, I'm playing with the legendary Bruce Dickinson. Like, you got to come, people don't understand. Like, people are paying good money to see you, bro.
Put out. Put out.
That's what I'm saying. You got to put out. You got to put out and give the people a show. You know Bruce is going to show up.
Yep. Yeah,
you
do.
What I'm saying?
You for sure.
But if you're a lead guitarist and you're doing all that shit, it can't just be about like hitting. Like there was a band that we reviewed a couple days ago. And people were like, yeah, they're not really that good live. And I said, well, they're just trying to their instruments.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They were kind of stationary and all that. But this dude had hit a point where he's so good that he can maintain that excellence. Not miss a note, have perfect tone, but still be a showman for the crowd.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm cool with him having that.
And he did that. Yeah.
I'm cool with him having the hat. The other guy, get it. I call him Aaron Rodgers because dude looked exactly like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
And had the same attitude and everything. I wonder if I don't like the band specifically because I don't like Aaron Rodgers.
No, it's not. Really, it's not, babe. Because I didn't care about Aaron Rodgers or whatever. And I was like, these people are freaking trash, man. They're trash.
I mean, the lead guy was cool. You know what I'm saying? But, he gave us a pick, for God's sake, but you then promptly lost.
No.
You made a big deal out of it.
No. You passed it to the girl beside us who promptly put it in her freaking bra.
Yeah, and then you got it back.
I did get it back.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then you made up
No, I still have it.
Made me story about how bro, it was over a year ago, beloved.
I know, but I still can't get over the fact that it was shoved in her bra.
Has-
So what happened was Vinny and I were having like this moment during their song, and so he saw that, so he specifically wanted us to have the pick. This girl that we were beside literally was collecting, like, she said that she has a whole wall full of stuff, and she had already collected multiple things from the band's chucking
Drumsticks, whole 9 yards.
Yeah. So I couldn't believe that after the guy gives it to us, after we were kissing, Vinny gives it to that woman. I was like, what are you doing? And then I told the girl, I was like, I want that pick back. And she wasn't going to give it to me. But then, like, I don't know.
The better angels of her nature prevailed and she gave it to you.
That's what happened. But I was like, it was like racing through my head, like, what was I going to do?
Yeah, but that's not why you haven't made a necklace out of that pick.
Babe.
That's not why. You didn't even know where it is.
Yeah, I do. It's in the top drawer of my room.
And
Or in the top drawer of this desk.
Right.
Or in the top drawer of your top drawer.
She doesn't know where it is.
I'm pretty sure if my life was on the line, I could locate it. Okay,
I'm
point
pretty
is...
Sure if your life was on the line to identify that, we'd all be saying, all right.
Stop it. Anyway, we get your point, Vin. We understand where you're going with that, but let's move on to the song.
Yeah, I mean, this is a song I would never want the kids to sing, man. I'm not afraid of I would never want them to sing it with, like, feeling and meaning and have it be about our house.
Our house?
Our household or the way they were raised. Because it seems like he was saying that there were things about being in Maiden that was stifling him and holding him back. And so he had to get out of Maiden. Like, this is the first song he released outside of Maiden.
Yeah.
So he had to get out of the band. Usually what happens is they'll do a side project.
Right.
They won't leave the band to do another band. So I'm like, And it doesn't necessarily mean that they had, like, personal conflicts, although... I don't know the history. I don't know the history of Maiden.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just know that I love them and I love their guitar work. It's very inspiring. But it seems to me that when you listen to Iron Maiden, especially early Iron Maiden, it was always thematic. Mm-hmm. And it didn't, Ancient Mariner, all that stuff. There's just so many of them that we've reviewed that have been like thematic. They haven't been personal to where.
Yeah, you know what?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there was like a
Seventh
lot of
Son.
I won't remember like the names, but I would say, there'll be like a lot of historical stuff.
Right.
Warriors, different stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, as far as like your personal, that's a good point.
Of that blimp. So like,
Oh, that's interesting.
so he's saying for too long now there were secrets in my mind. For too long now there were things I should have said. In the darkness I was stumbling for the door to find a reason, to find the time, the place, the hour.
Yeah.
Which to me this is why I'm so big on communication. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's clear to me that he was probably like, guys, I need to do an album about how I feel about a lot of shit, and like have the whole album be very personal. But it wasn't like, Korn, it's one of those.
That's who they were. That's what they did.
Yeah, and they were like massively personal, like over personal. You see what I'm like? You see what I'm saying? Not over personal for me. I'm just saying. So when I came up in metal, that's what I was used to. I was used to it all being personal, or whatever. But like you look at Metallica, the whole record generally wasn't personal. Like for example, Ride the Lightning. Yeah, it had Fade to Black on it, but there were other things. Like the Electric Chair, all this other stuff. Trapped Under Ice. Master Puppets, same thing. Like you'd have one or two songs that were deeply personal, but you didn't have a record, to my knowledge anyway, that was just start to finish, these are my feelings type of thing.
Yep.
And then Korn came out, then everybody went super personal. You know what I'm saying? So like, I understand where he's coming from here. Then it seems like you're just in the band and you're like, yo man, I want to go in a different direction. But at that point, you already have this winning formula that's making. You hate to talk about the financial aspect, but
it's definitely there.
Okay, let's say it this way: that's selling out stadiums, right? And so you get to perform in front of tens of thousands of people. Why would you change that formula?
Right.
But he's like, man, from where we started to where I'm now, there's a lot of emotional baggage and a lot of things that have happened in my life. You know what I'm saying?
I just think that when I think about art and artists, I think that it's absolutely freaking unbelievable that they can create art that is not inspired by their own soul. That means to me, you're like on level 50,000, because I can go in the room when I feel inspired and write a poem or make a song, or, like I can do those things when I'm inspired, but you can't tell me to make a song about, friggin' microphones, or, you know what I mean? Like if I have something deep in my soul I want to put out, I want to put that out. And the fact that some of these people can just put out amazing top 10 stuff because they're that good.
But I think what they're doing though is that they're still writing from their soul, because they're saying to themselves, if I was going to die the next day, how would I feel? Right? If I was in that blimp and it was crashing and I knew people were going to die, how would I feel?
Yeah, but
so they still are able, but it's not as direct as these are my direct experiences. So, but I just think, being in a band like that, it kind of works against you at times, because you get stuck in the and it's really interesting, like the politics of songwriting in a band too, like because we've got a band and like I made a point to say, this song is my song, this is the way I want it to come out, and then like there have been times when it was like, oh, I really worked hard on this part here, and I've been like no,
Yep. Yeah.
But at the same time,
but you have a certain vision.
But then when Peter has his sample and he goes, this is how I want it, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So if I add something and he says no, I'm good with that. But I don't know how easy that is to do in a band. People start saying stuff like, oh, this isn't your band, it's all of ours. Especially if they were collaborative writers. I don't know. It's a lot of speculation. But that's why I think communication is so important.
Yeah.
And like, obviously I'm reading into what the song means to him, but this is true for a lot of families and a lot of relationships, Secrets in my mind, too long now, things I should have said. And then I was stumbling for the door to find a reason. And that's where the sabotage stuff comes in. Where, because you can't communicate, I'm out of here, or I want to be out of here, or this really, really needs to change. Because you can't communicate that, you start looking for reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was watching, the Tom Brady stuff on ESPN, and he was talking about Belichick. a lot of people were speculating that the relationship between Belichick and Tom got so acerbic that it was just Tom was like, I'm taking my ball and going away or whatever. And he just talked about like, if things were going to change, then I was going to stay. And if they weren't, and it was clear to me that it wasn't, then I was going to go. Mm-hmm. And it was no passive aggressive bullshit, no weird leaks to the media. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But just a very mature outlook. But most of us don't do that. And especially if you've not been taught to communicate and you've not been taught to initiate conflicts with your friends or your loved ones.
Right.
Most people are taught to avoid those things at all costs.
Right.
Go ahead, what were you saying?
Well, just when you say avoid talking about it, but then also avoiding conflicts. And I think that the big reason people avoid talking is because they're trying to avoid conflict. So it's hard enough to put your feelings or thoughts out there, but even harder when you know that that's going to result in some sort of conflict, when you don't want conflict. Yeah. So, yeah. And that I thought that was an interesting thing to say, to find a reason, to find the time, the place, the hour. And is he saying that he had issues that he wasn't going to talk about, so then he's just going to look for other reasons that would be like, well, there's a reason, there's a reason, there's a reason. So you can focus on this one over here because there's plenty of stuff that we can list off because, as we say in almost every video, everybody does bad stuff. Like, everybody treats other people bad. So there's a whole list of stuff that you can come up with. But there's one thing over here that is the actual reason why he was like, I'm going to start looking for reasons now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And again, these are your brothers. You got famous together. Mm-hmm. You played in the garage. Now you're So it's very, very hard to like explicitly do that.
Yep.
And I think it was also hard for him just to do it in general because he talked about his fear, the fear that I once believed.
Yeah.
And the tears of the dragon. That's a very interesting line.
Yeah.
How did you read that?
I really didn't, because when he was getting to the end, I loved it because he was talking about, being thrown into the sea, release the waves, let it wash over me, to face the fear I once believed, the tears of the dragon. Like, I guess I would take it as if a dragon is like something that most people would fear if you had to actually face a dragon. And these are the tears of the dragon. So there's so much... To face the fear I once believed, the tears of the dragon for you. Well, I got from this part, I don't understand really the tears part. That he had to face that fear. And in facing that fear, it was so much less scary than what he thought. Mm-hmm. Is what I got from it. Like when there's something that you're so afraid of and then you actually face that thing, either because you have to or... I don't know. I had to face something like, it was terrible. And remember how I used to have that reoccurring dream that I was back at that occult college and I was trying to leave and I couldn't leave and I was trying to pack my stuff. Like, I don't have that dream ever since that big event. The biggest event really probably of my life, over this.
Oh, really?
I don't have that dream anymore.
Oh, that's surprising to me. That's surprising. I would have never made that call. What do you think
We'll talk off camera. Yeah.
Probably not so. Yeah. We'll talk offline.
But I'm glad you're curious to know. Because we're not going to talk about it anyway. Yeah, so that to me was when you actually have to face a thing and then it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. And then when it just like release the wave, let it wash over me, that to me is different than somebody that's fighting. You're just like, all right, that's it. Just I'm going in. And then it wasn't so bad. And then look at this music that he created as a result. So.
Yeah, in the Bible, the sea kind of represents chaos and the unknown because the Israelite people were not a seafaring people. Mm-hmm. So all the bad guys came out of the sea. Just chaos, and it could envelop you, and there's nothing you can do to fight against it. And so the sea became this metaphor of, the place of chaos and whatever. I looked at the dragon as, the dragon is, from outside perception, this powerful, there's the danger aspect, but I was looking more at the power aspect of the dragon. And on top of that, the dragon has wings, so he's kind of above everything. He can get above everything, and he's powerful, and he's an apex predator. But if you actually look close at it, the dragon's actually crying. And so
which is kind of a contradiction or that vulnerability, because you would never picture a dragon to be cried. So what I looked at it as was, he's this big giant rock star, very powerful, above it all, but he's got all these emotions inside that he was talking about. Because he talked about it at the top, where he was like, and he says, I throw myself into the sea. So he's the dragon, is the way I'm looking at it. And he's saying the tears of the dragon for you and for me, because he's broken, he's sad about leaving his brothers.
Yep.
But he also has these emotions that he's got to let loose. So even though he's this powerful guy and he can sing and he can soar and he can hit these notes, he's still a human being, and that's where the tears come from. And it wasn't, I liked it because it was a good balance of saying, basically, this is why I left the band, but it wasn't a fuck you guys.
Yeah.
When Ice Cube left NWA, he came out with this song called No Vaseline, and he just one of the craziest diss songs. It was one guy dissed an entire crew of rappers, and they were never able to recover. Like, done. Like, but it's pretty cool. Like, he's saying, like, he misses them, he loves them, and I think that's the reason he was able to reintegrate himself back into the band. You know what I'm saying? And kind of Head from Korn, kind of the same situation.
Yeah.
They understood that he needed to get out of that the life for a minute.
Yep.
Slow down and take care of his daughter. And they welcomed him back with open arms. There was another member of the band, I'm not going to mention it, but he just went completely Ginsu on him. And he didn't even leave the band. He said he was going on hiatus. And while he's on a hiatus, he completely just trashed the band. Well, obviously, he's not coming back. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to, I felt like it was a good balance of saying, look, I needed to be able to talk about my own things or express myself this way. I cannot do that with you guys. And a lot of it is just, you have to test yourself. One of these days, Dorian's going to come to me, he's like, Father, I'm leaving.
He's our 16-year-old.
He's going to say, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be anything bad about us. It's just going to be, can I make it as a man on my own? And if you're in a band like that, and you have this otherworldly talent, but there's still that doubt, could you make it on your own without the band? And a lot of men have to prove that to themselves. They do. They just do, And I mean, it's part of why we're doing what we're doing, like, it's just, okay, like, all right, Vinny, you've worked for other people pretty much all. Can you work for yourself? Can you do it? Do you have the skills? Do you have the,
Yeah, you know what it is for me too? So, obviously my family, there was entrepreneurs in my family, but they always had this idea that you never burn your bridges. So basically you always have to be kissing everybody's feet, because you never know when you're going to need those feet to help you.
Right.
And so I like our business model because it doesn't hinge on any of those relationships that I built all through my growing up years.
Yeah.
So I really, really, really like that. I like it that you and I are striking out on our own, and we're creating a business that is like, we're making connections with people, and we're going through. I like that. So.
And it's our path. And
it's ours. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe we've got the talent here. Not only us two, but our entire family.
Oh, absolutely.
We have the talent to pull it off.
Yep.
But everybody says that, but go do it. Like, I think you're the only female on the planet. I had a 6-figure job, and I'm like, are you good with me, like, not working here anymore and not pursuing another 6-figure job? Like, you good with that? Yup. And
1,000.
So we just completely threw ourselves into the sea, and mashallah, it's
you always say that like it's super cool that I said that. I don't feel that at all, because for me, I was like, oh, I'm betting on you.
Yeah.
Like us, yeah, but I know who you are. It's not like if you were the person that was like sideways lazy, then I'd have to be like, stay where you are. Stay where you are. Yeah, because sometimes when people try to reset, then they don't ever get motivated again. Yeah. So, but I knew, like, even if you took yourself a little break, a well-needed break, you were gonna
you gotta, for everybody, not everybody is gonna do a small business or whatever you want to call it, like, but
right, yeah.
And especially with men, and people aren't gonna like this or whatever, but it's important in the development of a man to do that. It's how God made us, like, to go out there and strike out into the wild and test your mettle and see if you can come back. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, and make shit happen. Yeah. But it's just that a lot of us have that propulsion to test ourselves and to go off and do that. So whether it's a small business, another band, maybe you're in an abusive relationship and you need to get the hell out, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you've been jumping from relationship and you need to stay the hell in and finally prove to yourself that you don't have to run away all the time. I mean, there are so many different aspects.
And another thing, too, is starting a family. I think some people are scared to start a family because do we have the money? Is this going to work? What if we're not qualified? Blah, 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 blah. Like, just start your little family.
Yeah.
That's like when I was working at the
100%.
hospital and there was like so many different people that I was meeting. And throughout my entire teen years, I always asked people, what's your one lifetime regret? And what's the best advice you would give for relationships? The biggest advice that everybody gave, communication was a big one people listed off. But then people said, don't go to bed angry, which I'm not sure really how that's even possible sometimes. But
Now, if you're married to me.
but also, their one regret was almost every single one. I would say 98% of the people that I asked said that they wish they would have had more kids. And it didn't matter how many kids they had, they always wished they had more.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know.
When you get old, you look back over everything and like there's really nothing.
I was just watching. Did we get any of it on camera? They were playing hide and go seek or whatever.
Oh, we didn't. We should have.
And,
Oh,
like,
I was just enjoying watching
Orion, they would hide him and he's little, so they were
He's
hiding
too.
him.
So they were like hiding him in different like places, under things, beside things. It was super cute. And then the one of the kids would come looking for him, and everybody kept saying, "Be quiet, because they didn't want him to give himself away."
Yeah, and then sometimes Johan would be like, "Hey, Orion, where are you?" And he'd be like, "I'm over here."
Yeah.
And then he'd remember, and then he'd just get quiet again.
And he was like, "Orion, Cocomelon," because Orion loves Cocomelon.
and then Zoe had him in this
It was a laundry basket.
Zippable laundry basket.
It's a cloth laundry basket.
And Doria immediately shoots up and goes, "Is there a breathing hole for that? Is there an air hole for that?" And, the thing was half zipped, you know what I'm saying? Like, the kid could breathe. But Dorian,
I was glad that he was
watching all their little personnel. And it was a very interesting game. I came downstairs and I saw, Orion, is getting carried around, a while, but they're young,
I know. Underneath somebody's arm, and they take off running. He's laughing.
I was looking at it. I was like, "Yo, was he good? Is he?"
Yeah,
good
he was laughing.
But it was funny too because he's got such a clear understanding of boundaries. It's unbelievable. Because it was like a light switch. He was like, "All right."
He was done.
He was done. And it was going on for a good half. But the point is, this is what I tell the kids all the time. Never make a decision out of ego, fear, or guilt. Never make it into any important decision out of those three.
Yep.
And so, if you're worried about having kids and all, the world that we're living in is pretty crazy.
Yep.
I get it. But at the same time, man, there's nothing like it. And it's impossible to imagine. It's so weird, they were not here. And now that they're here, it's impossible to imagine life without them. It's
I know. And they're
So
all down
strange.
there. They're experiencing each other. When we came in the other night and they were all grouped around the computer.
Yeah.
I wish I would have taken a picture, but everybody moved before I could get my camera out.
Gold.
It was so cute. Oh, my word.
Gold. I love our family, though.
Me too.
But we have a uniquely.
We do.
Awesome.
A very unique family.
About her, her screen.
Yeah, I told her, I said, "Honey, you're never going to be able to lean on me to tell you what's wrong with your writings. I don't even see it. I don't see it." And she said, "Well, that's good anyway," because she couldn't take both parents saying it. So
that's
I'm
exactly how it's supposed to go. All right, what do you get this song?
Oh, it's a 10.
I got a little
Easy.
chilly. I got a little chilly. It's this guy's been singing for 50 quadrillion years, man, and he's just still a badass live. 9.8 for me. Really, really, really good song. Shout out to Brewstick. Who requested this song?
Oh shoot, you would ask. I just put it away. oh yeah, Hernan.
Hernan. Shout out to the homie. Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.